What's up, everybody? We are back with another low quality video. Recording the computer screen. Let's freaking go. We have a lot to talk about. We're just gonna basically be doing a regional roundup and kind of a look ahead to the super regionals, what I think, and if my picks have changed at all. And I will say, I don't know. I still have 7 of my 8 Omaha teams left, so I don't really know how much of my predictions are going to change. I ended up going 12 of 16 in picking regional winners. So that's probably, I only did this. This is my second year doing this bracket challenge. I don't even know how long D1's been doing this. Definitely doing better this year than I did last year. But anyways, let's just go ahead and get right into it. I think I'll just go by regional pair, so the 8 regional pairs leading to the super, and just kind of try and keep it brief like I did last time. I don't want it to be too long. And if we get 50,000 views, I'll do a face reveal because I know everybody's dying to see my face. What do I look like? All right. Anyways, let's get into it. Knoxville Regional, and I think I kind of mentioned this in the first video. Dude, they got screwed. Like, they are the number 1 overall seed, and by far was not the easiest regional. 2 really high-powered offenses. Georgia Tech's, I think, like a top 10 offense going into this, and they showed why. Campbell, top 10 in home runs and stolen bases. Campbell raked. And Campbell kind of disappointed me. And, dude, Tennessee was scared by them. Campbell was up 4-0. And there was a couple times where it looked like Campbell might have been able to run away with that game 2 to go up 2-0 and get put in the driver's seat. Just couldn't get it done, and then they got walloped by Georgia Tech in the elimination game. Not a whole lot to say. Like, there were some honestly crazy games. It was pretty entertaining. A lot of bombs being hit as we expected. Tennessee showed why they're the best team in the country, and that they're going to overcome adversity. That was good to see them overcome some adversity, not kind of like Auburn where they just blew through the regional, because I feel like that can be good for a team. That being said, they still won 3-0, pretty much breezed through there, but interesting regional. It was entertaining. And then Statesboro Regional, yeah, not a lot to say here. I'm not super surprised. I was really impressed with Notre Dame's pitching. They were holding their opponents under a lot of runs, not allowing a whole lot of runs. But the ball was dead here, man. Like, we were seeing balls fly out all over the country, but like this regional, the ball was dead. And I'm telling you, man, they juiced these balls for the NCAA tournament. The numbers are going up every single year, it seems like, for the past 6 years. And it's just nuts, the offense that we saw this weekend. But it was great. I'm all for it, man. And these umpires, they gotta let the players have their moments, man. You can't have umpires running batters down the bases after they just hit a bomb and they're trying to pimp it, man. Let them pimp it, dude. That's ridiculous. Nobody's here to watch you. Anyways, yeah, not a whole lot to talk about. I pretty much went as expected. Tennessee, Notre Dame. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the Super Regional. I'm just sticking to what I said. I think Notre Dame could make this a 3-game series. I expect it. Tennessee to win, though. I just don't know if Notre Dame has the offense. They have the pitching to hang in there with Tennessee, I think. But Tennessee, man, they capitalize on opportunities too well, it seems like. So, nothing new there. We're going to stick to that. So, Austin Regional, man, and like I said, Texas got lucky, dude. They got a cakewalk regional, and not taking anything away from what they did this weekend, but honestly, I didn't even watch any of the games. They just felt all so boring, and they had no problem there. But the East Carolina, the Greenville Regional, that was fun. Virginia was scaring East Carolina in game 2 there, but East Carolina pulled away. East Carolina was in a lot of high intense, close, matchups, but they kind of got the job done. So good for them. And then Coastal came back on Virginia in that elimination game and then forced a game 7 against East Carolina, winner take all. And it was a pretty good game for a while, but East Carolina just blew it open. And they were going nuts in Greenville. What an atmosphere that is. And we finally get to see a super regional in Greenville. I'm so excited for that. Um, I'm sticking to my pick. I think East Carolina is playing better. Maybe not as talented, but I don't think that really matters. Like, the most talented team doesn't always end. They're very talented, not taking anything away from them there. Um, yeah, I'm sticking to it, man. I mean, obviously, if y'all watched my last video, they're my national champion. Not picking against them here. The jungle's going to be wild this weekend. I'm looking forward to this. I think Texas has to win game one if they want to get out of this regional. East Carolina can go down 0-1 and then come back and win. I don't think Texas can. But yeah, I like East Carolina there. Pretty complete team there. College Station Regional. Again, this wasn't like this was. I mean, this is a pretty good regional. Nothing like super exciting happened outside. I mean, that Louisiana TCU game to kick it off was good. Pretty back and forth game there in Louisiana, won by a run. But TCU came back and made it to the regional finals where they faced A&M, and that they almost forced a game 7 against A&M. A&M was up 7-3, and then they had like a 6th run inning in the 7th or something, and then ultimately A&M went on to win. Like by 6 runs, 15-9, I think it was. A&M did not have problems, and I said in the last video, I don't love their pitching. I think their pitching is good enough, but their offense is loaded and insane. These guys are rigged, and they proved it. This team can hit, man. They can hit, which is going to make for a fun super regional because the team they play in the supers can also hit as well. And yeah, there's really not much. Okay, so, and this is not the first time I've like watched an A&M game at A&M. Like, I knew this was a thing. The whole bubble thing at Bluebell Park, they blow bubbles when they're rallying or something. Like, how is that even legal? Are there not bubbles just flying all over the field? Like, I don't know. I feel like that could very well be distracting for other teams, and I mean both teams are playing through it, but I don't know. I just like feel like bubbles are probably flying all over the place in the outfield. So I just think it's kind of funny and honestly pretty cool. Yeah, that is really interesting. Louisville Regional, man, this one I was pretty wrong about Oregon. And Oregon was like a gut feeling. I didn't know why I was picking them. I knew they had a really good offense, but they really didn't come to play besides their game against SEMO, which, I mean, who cares? Michigan, man. Now this is a screw job by the umpires. I mean, this was absolutely horrendous. Michigan came out, got in the driver's seat 2-0, and I mean, so then Louisville comes back, forces game 7, smacks Michigan, and Michigan, what are they up 9-7? And there's a blatant call at second base. Well, it's not blatant. It's bang initially, and it would have got him out of the inning. They called him safe. They go to the review, and he's blatantly out. Like, I mean, it's very close. It's bang, but it is very obvious that he was out. They would have got out of the inning, gone in the 9th inning with a 2-run lead. So they don't overturn the call. They confirmed it. I don't know how you even confirmed that. This just makes no sense. So next thing you know, now it's next batter gets a base hit, ties the game 9-9. And then the next batter, like, it gets even worse. Next batter, 1-2 count. I mean, the pitcher, or at least from what I remember, it was definitely a strike, but it was like blatantly like right down the middle. I just don't know. I was like, oh, strike 3, they're out of the inning. Michigan's whole team is walking off the field. And and he doesn't call it. And of course, next pitch, calls it a ball. Next pitch, dude hits a nuke. They won the game 11-9. What a brutal way for Michigan to go out. I mean, there was not many regionals were decided by umpires, and it's normally not how it is. This is probably the only one. I guess you could argue another one. We'll get into that later. screw job, man. Screw job in Louisville. So feel bad for Michigan fans, but it's just how it is. That being said, I'm not changing anything. I think A&M beats Louisville. I think they're just kind of very similar teams and just better at what they do, and they have home field advantage. Bubbles will be going everywhere. All right, now let's get down. Gainesville Regional. Man, Central Michigan, they were the biggest disappointment for me here, and they were so close. First game against Florida was a really good game. I think it was like 1-1 the whole game until the 7th inning. Florida kind of blew it open. And then they, in the elimination game against Florida, after Oklahoma went up 2-0, they had a really good opportunity. They came back on Florida, had a really good opportunity to win the game, and just kind of fell apart. Couldn't break through. But they showed heart, man. They showed why they were a 40-win team. They were good. Liberty just, man, they sucked. Oklahoma, that game was good. Florida game of 5 forced a lot of game 7s this year. I don't think we had like a lot of forced game 7s this year, probably more than usual. But Oklahoma, yeah, good for them, man. They're playing well. They were honestly just, Florida got really unlucky with getting Oklahoma as a draw. Whoever had them as a 2 seed, that's unfortunate for them because they were probably winning. It felt like Oklahoma was going to win. And they did. And then Blacksburg, bro. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. Virginia Tech hasn't hosted in what? Like, have they ever hosted? Yeah, they have, probably. But they just get a cakewalk regional. Meanwhile, you have Stanford with Texas State, who was probably they were the best team out of the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern was not as deserving to host as Texas State. And then Tennessee gets 2 insane offenses, and you just give Gonzaga, Columbia, and Wright State. And nothing against the teams. Like, Columbia is a good hitting team. Gonzaga was supposed to have a good pitching staff. They sucked. And Wright State was a good 4 seed. But Virginia Tech really had no problems here. They just 3-0 easy dubs for them. And it just makes me worried for them because they're going to start facing some adversity in the Super Regional. They didn't have to overcome any, and that pressure is really going to get to them. That's why I still like Oklahoma. And it'll be fun. Virginia Tech is a really good team, and I've loved them all year. But, yeah, man, I just got to keep with my gut here, Oklahoma. I probably won't be changing any of these picks, to be honest, which kind of makes it boring, but I'm just riding with what I had to begin with. So all right, we'll just stay down here over to the Corvallis Regional. I was wrong about Vanderbilt. I mean, I'm not totally surprised at all that they almost won that regional. I thought San Diego might be a little better, but they weren't. Vanderbilt was better, and really scared Oregon State, man. That final game came down to the wire. A lot of back and forth. And Jerpy, didn't he come out and finish it? I think he did. But Oregon State, man, they're my runner-up, so I was kind of hoping they'd get through since, I actually have a decent bracket. I'm still rooting for it. So, yeah, not a ton to be said. The Vandy, Oregon State games were good. New Mexico State, shout out to them, gave them a great fight. Gave Oregon State a great fight in game 1. They just kind of the pressure got to them late, and they just kept walking batters. You can't walk batters, man. It just kills you, and we saw that all weekend. Up to the Auburn Regional, I mean, what do I have to say about this? I'm glad I stuck to my gut, because at first I was like, oh, I don't think Auburn's going to make it out of the regional. Then I was like, Auburn's like getting a lot of crap. Why are they hosting? Blah, blah, blah. Because they deserve to host, man. They played really good in the SEC, which has proven, again, a lot of people were thinking, oh, ACC might be the best conference this year. No, it was SEC, and we saw why this weekend. I think like five SEC teams advanced, 5 of the 9, and then I'm pretty sure at least 3 of the 4 that didn't advance made it to the regional final. Yeah, because you have Vandy, Florida, and LSU, and then maybe there's one more that probably made it too. They were all runner-ups. So SEC proved why it's, goated. Yeah, Auburn. blew through their regional, and it almost makes me want to pick. I'm going to be rooting for Auburn against Oregon State, I think. Um, but I just think, again, that's just a long drive for them. They're going to be playing late at night, going to have to adjust, and Oregon State, all 2,000 fans are going to be going crazy there in Corvallis. So I'll edge it out with Oregon State there. Hattiesburg Regional, pretty much spot on. LSU was actually in the driver's seat here, which was a little surprising, but actually not really. It really wasn't. Dude, even like Kennesaw State in the elimination game against Southern Miss was scaring me, because they were, I mean, they had to go to extra innings to beat Kennesaw State in that elimination game. I was like, come on, guys, like let's go, let's get through this, and they did, and then won 2 straight against LSU. What a regional! A lot of comebacks here. LSU came back down 7, won by 3 in like the 8th inning, to kick off their tournament against Kennesaw State. But Southern Miss, that pitching staff was good enough, and the hitting really came through when it needed to. So good for them. Coral Gables, I was close. I was kind of right with Miami. Just wasn't that impressive, and the weather probably didn't help. But I mean, every team had to deal with it. So yeah, I mean, I got it flip flopped. I thought Arizona would advance and Ole Miss would be the runner up, but it was the other way around. And Ole Miss had no problems, man. Talk about a 3 seed that looked like a 1 seed this weekend. I mean, they just like, not saying they didn't have problems in the first 2 games. I mean, it was just, they just won close games and then blew Arizona out in the regional finals. So good for them. And this is like, I'm normally not a huge fan of Ole Miss. I am an Arkansas fan, if y'all forgot. But they're pretty likable this year, man. I mean, Tim Elko's likable. They have some likable players. They don't like have a bunch of douchebags like I feel like they normally do. So I'll be rooting for them, but ultimately I want Southern Miss to win. That'll be a fun in-state like kind of rivalry, super regional, and Southern Miss is the host, which I think makes it even better. I like seeing like these non-Power 5 schools hosting supers and regionals. That's fun to see. Stillwater, probably, I mean, if you weren't watching the Stillwater regional, what was wrong with you, man? I mean, holy crap. That was just some of the craziest games. Missouri State is up 12-0 in elimination game against Oklahoma State. And I had money on Missouri State. I had them to beat Oklahoma State because I just thought they were going to be beat up from that crazy game the night before. And then Oklahoma State wins by 2 touchdowns. Like, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. Grand Canyon, a lot of people said they didn't deserve to be in. They were probably right. Pretty bad showing. Missouri State, crazy comeback on them in the elimination game. 5 runs in the 9th, or maybe 6, to come back and win that one. And then Arkansas and Oklahoma State was like almost a super in itself. I mean, it feels like these 2 teams are like 2 of the best offenses left in the field, and they're playing each other in the regional round. Walks really haunted both teams. I think Oklahoma State just probably walked a little more. And Arkansas's defense and the final game was unreal, man. They made some ridiculous plays to save a lot of runs and momentum. So that was great. 2 really good teams. And Rock Ratio was humbled. Here to Chapel Hill. I was pretty close here. VCU was in the driver's seat. And then Georgia, in the elimination game against North Carolina, hits a walk-off home run, I'm pretty sure. I think it was 6-5, bottom 9. Georgia hits a ball over the wall with a runner on first, so it would have walked it off. Or maybe at least tied it, I don't know. And, dude, for center fielder Honeycutt, literally robs the home run, saves their season. They win that game, go on to beat VCU, crush VCU twice in a row. VCU was kind of like my Cinderella team for the regionals, and I was super excited about them. Then they just fell apart. They just didn't have the pitching. Some good games in that regional. That first VCU North Carolina game was fun. So it sets up a fun super in Chapel Hill, North Carolina and Arkansas. Great color matchup. Obviously, I'm not picking against my Hogs. And honestly, I just think they're the better team. Like, if they play the way they did and clean up some pitching, I think they're a better team than North Carolina. And it's not me being biased. It's what most college baseball poll makers or voters thought all year too. They just happened to end the year really good, and we happened to end the year really bad. But I think we're both back to playing really good baseball, so that'll be super fun. Probably a 3-game series there, but I think Arkansas wins in 3. And then finally up here, College Park. I was pretty off right here, and I mentioned Connecticut or UConn. I thought that there were talks of them hosting for a lot of the season, and they just kind of lost like a really bad series down the stretch that brought them out of that talk. So Connecticut got in the driver's seat. Maryland forces Game 7. Wake Forest was pretty disappointing. That first UConn-Wake Forest game was lit, though. Wake Forest stormed back, and then Connecticut... Dude, I don't know why I keep saying Connecticut. I think I'm just reading it. But UConn, props to them, man. They took a lot of punches and fought back. They punched right back. I mean, there were times where momentum was not on their side. Just everything was going against them. And then the next inning, they came out and scored 2 runs, scored 3 runs, and just right back to in the driver's seat to win the game. That was really impressive. I liked the way they played, and they hit the ball really well. And then Maryland, I don't know if y'all saw in that final winner go home game, Maryland UConn, just arguably probably the worst call. Yeah, definitely the worst call. On that play at first, that just it feels like killed Maryland's inning and a chance to come back and win. Basically, I don't even know what happened. Like, it was like a bunt or a swinging bunt, ground ball. Maryland guys run into first, and the pitcher picks up, tosses to the first baseman, and the Maryland player runs straight through the first baseman. He doesn't catch the ball, and they call him out because of like interference when he literally has the right to the base path. I don't know. That one wasn't as big of a screw job. It doesn't feel like, but it was up there, man. It could have cost Maryland their season. But props to UConn. Great series there. And then the Stanford Regional. What a regional. Now, this one, like, not a whole lot of runs. There were some home runs. Not a big offensive regional, but it was just as entertaining watching Stanford and Texas State's pitchers go out there and shove, dude. And Texas State, I mean, I already kind of knew this about them, especially from that Texas series they had earlier in the year. They are intense, and they get into it with the other team. They like to talk crap. They like to let people know that they think they're better than you. And, man, Texas State was almost better than Stanford this week, and they got in the driver's seat again, like some other teams, and just lost a heartbreaker in that winner go home. They scored 2 runs in the 9th to go up 3-1. Then Stanford comes out bottom 9, back-to-back jacks, and then works a rally and scores another run to win the game. That was insane. And it was very chippy. That was fun to watch. And Texas State screwed over, man. Screwed over. You're telling me this was the second worst 2 seed? And I don't understand how they do it, because they say it's regional, but you send Texas State all the way to California when they probably should have stayed in, they should have been in the Austin Regional, because Texas did not deserve a cakewalk, and that would have been intense to watch those teams rematch. So it sets up Stanford, UConn. I mean, I have to go Stanford. As much as I want to pick UConn, I just don't see them winning 2 games here. I think Stanford's too good. So although it wasn't it was kind of a chalky weekend. I think 11 of the 1 seeds advanced. But it was still a lot of fun. You got a lot of really high quality baseball and just some intense moments. It was really fun to watch. And now for the Supers, which is my favorite part of the tournament, because you get 16 of pretty much the best teams left in the country. There are some really good teams like Oklahoma State. You can make a case for Miami. Even teams like LSU that aren't here, that maybe they are a top 20 team. Not in the Supers, but you get 16 really good teams and game of best of 3 series. Like, you don't really, it's just you pitched like you normally would any other weekend. And it's just best team, may the best team win. You know, it feels like you have to get less lucky, I guess, in the Supers. And it's to go to Omaha, which is like almost like a mini national championship in itself. It's like making the Final Four in basketball. Like, it's really a big accomplishment. So I'm excited for the weekend. Let me know what y'all think. Sorry for the longer video. I wanted to keep it under 20, but it's just kind of hard to talk about this weekend and not. I mean, I try to go really fast and not go into too much detail. But let me know what y'all think. You know, 50,000 views, face reveal. That being said, I'll see you next weekend.